Hello, Pain Cave dwellers, and welcome to another race report. Today we're in the pens warming up for the London Flat Race, a 3-hour race. This is going to be 2 laps, super fast and super fun. Our goal today is not to ride smart, but to ride hard. So I'm just going to make this race as hard as possible for everybody in the field. I have a teammate here, Evan Benwies. We're both on the same strategy, so just attack, attack, attack whenever possible. So with 2 minutes left, essentially our plan is out of the gate, as per usual, as hard as we can go, but not letting off when the group lets off and instead carrying that momentum into the first little climb and making that first climb hard and trying to really string it out as much as possible. I hadn't warmed up properly for this, so it made the start just hurt a bit more than it probably should have, and maybe it would have gone a bit harder had I warmed up, but it was 9 in the morning, so can you really blame me? So 20 seconds left here, starting to finally ramp up the watts a bit. We're gonna come out of the gates flying 400 watts, 6 watts per kilo, and just try and hold that for the first minute of the race. And here we go, the start of the race. We're off. Everybody's sprinting into the orange numbers immediately. And I'm not even having to be on the front here just because everybody wants to sprint out of the gates. You can see Evan, he's 2 wheels in front of me. We're both wearing the same kit and the same blue Tron bike. Not wearing a helmet today because we're ignoring safety. Safety third. And here we go. My turn to take a bit of a pull on the front just to make sure things are consistently hard and try and string out the group as much as possible. There is a tiny bit of a rise coming up here as soon as we get through these banners, so I plan on giving it yet another attack up to the top of the hill here. Through the banners, I'm lucky enough to get a featherweight, and I decide to just give it a dig here and use the featherweight to make it sting. Up to 7 watts per kilo. My heart rate is pretty low right now, 160, so that's comfy for me, but my legs are not comfy, I can tell you that. That's the thing with heart rate, it takes a while to catch up to the actual effort, and like I said, I hadn't warmed up properly before this, so my heart rate was still trying to catch up to the effort. So over the top of that, and we're back down to a recovery pace. And let's see what the damage is. So about 30 people in this front group with us. So that's a pretty good selection in my opinion. We did manage to make it hard enough that not all the bees were able to follow with us. So we cruise around here. I'm able to recover a bit. Heart rate down in the 140s, so adequately low. And then we're going to go uphill again and trying to make this hard. So attacking whenever possible and whenever it's going to make everybody else hurt. You can see Evans into the orange numbers. He's on the front, really drilling it. There's Jay McQuaid as well, one of the guys from draft. He was really strong today. He's also motivated to make this hard. And as soon as we get past the gradient, I just back off on the power because no one else is having to put as much power in as me once we're on the flats, and I don't want to just be doing work for no reason. I'm kind of pinging around here between the front and the back of the group. The reason why I go to the back is to just see the group size. So you can see we got it down to 17 there after that attack up the hill. So there's a bit of a false flat here. This is one of my favorite parts to attack. Even though it's not super steep, people don't really expect this. So 7 watts per kilo, people are following. It's really getting strung out. You can see 2 guys 1 second behind me, bunch of people 2 seconds behind, and 3 seconds. So just by those time gaps, you can tell how strung out things are. I, of course, end up getting caught inevitably. That's what happens on this course. There's no real logical reason to attack because everything gets brought back. If you were wanting to contest the win here, all you had to do was sit in the group, save as much energy make sure no move went without you. And the only time you hit the front is in the last 150 meters. So just some quick stats here. The first minute and a half, so up to the top of that little kicker of the race, I averaged 400 watts. So decently comfortable. Maybe could have done more, but it's all just for fun. I had an average heart rate of 158 beats per minute, and then once again, that's just because the heart rate, there's a bit of a lag there. Not much happened on the flats. There were a couple attacks, but everything got brought back. I'm just sitting in, trying to recover, and I want to make sure that when I do attack, it's a hard attack and people are really suffering. Here's an example of a really good attack. So Jay McQuaid here, he's at the back of the group. You can see him on the bottom left, and he comes straight through the group with his sprint. So he dipped a bit into the orange numbers there, but he was able to gain momentum through the group up this hill. So going up this hill now, he's going a lot faster than us, and then he carries that momentum into the downhill. That was a super effective attack, great technique, 10 out of 10. Evan kind of panicked a bit and tried to follow. I told him not to worry, just sit in the group. We'll catch him on the uphill. And I was planning on giving it a bit of a dig when we hit this kicker coming up here. So when we hit this kicker, we're going so fast. Even when you're on the front, you're at such a disadvantage because everybody's drafting you so much. So you can see I'm at 10 watts per kilo there. A lot of the people behind me were only pulling 7 watts per kilo. And we're going to make the catch here. And as soon as I make the catch, I want to make sure the pace stays on and force this guy to do another effort just to get back onto the group. Because I know he's definitely a contender for the victory here. After looking through a couple stats on Zwift Power, he was the highest ranked rider coming into this race. So I want to make it hard for him. So that was a really good opportunity to just force him to burn a match. And so much so, I was so committed to that, I used an air boost. Normally, I would save that for a sprint, but I'm not too worried about the finale here. So, second lap here, I attack at that same spot. Classic move by me there, something I like doing, but nothing comes of it. You can see McQuaid attacks a couple more times. But overall, not much happens until now. So that was another good attack. See the Green Rider, he attacked through the group and just kind of rolls off the front and then puts in the effort just to build up the momentum through the group. So we kind of let him dangle for a couple minutes, maybe 30 to 40 seconds. And then these two riders, or these three riders kind of roll off the front. I'm not exactly sure how that ended up happening, but three riders managed to roll off the front and then bridge to him. And this guy sees that as a bit of a threat. So he begins sprinting to try and get on terms and shut this down. So you can see ahead of me, he's doing 7 watts per kilo. I was only doing 5, and then the group manages to just pull them back through group momentum. But then as soon as it comes back together, I put in kind of a semi attack, just a light attack to see who has the legs to follow still. And actually, no one really responds to that, which was disappointing. I was hoping someone would come up with me and then we could just maybe time trial to the end in a group of 2 or 3 since everybody's legs will be done. So I have a drafting power up here. I'm just going to make this as hard as possible for everyone. So really attack the climb and then recover a bit in the group. And then I'm planning on leading Evan out here. So here's our lead out. I'm at the back of the group here. Someone's already opened up the sprint. I kick a bit up to 10 watts per kilo. This was executed pretty well. So Evan's right there on my wheel. He's got his aero power up on. I probably could have let him out a bit longer than this. And he comes around me, but everybody else is coming around me at the same time. So Evan's having to put in pretty much the same effort as everybody else. So sprint leadouts, definitely something we're going to be working on in the future, trying to figure out the mechanics of it and what's the best way to optimize it on Zwift. We have a couple ideas so far, but we're just fine-tuning things. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you liked watching me and Evan smash ourselves. Make sure you like and subscribe and keep riding hard and keep riding smart. See you next time.